I like TCM. They're important. They nurture films. They take care of movies that would just fly away in the wind if TCM didn't grab them, salute them, and point out how important they are to our souls, to our culture. And so I don't mind doing this. I don't even mind that they're not paying me. I don't do many freebies, I'll tell you that.
Mel, thank you again for being here. 7 out of 15 festivals.
Oh, okay. Ben Mankiewicz from the illustrious Mankiewiczes. Joe Mankiewicz, Cleopatra. Cleopatra gave us Century City. They had to sell the back lot. But thank God for Cleopatra. We got Century City.
It's a great mall in Century City. It's a high-quality mall. You have my family to thank. So, back before Spaceballs, 13 years before Spaceballs, when you made Blazing Saddles.
I got to tell you, we showed Blazing Saddles, and the executives, the hierarchy of Warner Brothers came, and the head of Warner Brothers, who shall be nameless, Ted Ashley. And anyway, he grabbed me by the collar and threw me in the manager's office. He said, "Take some notes." And he gave me notes. You can't hit an old lady, okay. You can't punch a horse no matter what, okay. You can't say the N-word, oh, okay. I gotta relate that to one of our writers, and he wouldn't like that. Anyway, he gave me so many notes, so many cuts, that if I listened to him studiously, took every single cut and made the cuts, I would have had a 10-minute movie. No. But anyway, as soon as it was released, the first or second week, I don't know, third or fourth week, it began making so much money that he took credit for it. He took credit for the movie, never made another cut.
When you made
questionable taste, is good. Questionable taste is good.
When you made it, did you have any clue that you were beginning this new genre, that you were going to be making these parodies, these spoofs?
I didn't. It was the first one, really. I mean, the producers was a real story. I worked for a guy who, he was a sweetheart of a guy, and he used to get old plays that he could get for nothing and put them on the road, and he'd send me on the road to open them, and he was an amazing guy, and it was a thrill. I was like Leo Bloom. I said, my God, Jesus, beautiful girls, and look, they're dressing over there, It was so thrilling to be part of show business. The only thing that worked for me in show business, I knew I could get into show business. I knew it. Because nobody could make a cat sound like I could. If they needed a cat, they had to call me. Nobody, they would, they get guys go, meow, 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 nothing. But they said, get Mel Brooks. Get him for the cat sound. And when I did the cat sound, I did, So I know I could be somehow a small part of show business making cat sounds. And I also knew that nobody could do Hitler like me. So I used to do, und Schleswig-Holstein wird sie immer gemacht, und Schleswig-Wohl, we're losing the war. Shit. Anyway. graduated from that stuff. And finally, when I worked in the mountains, I was a busboy, and I worked the sour cream station. It was a very big aluminum, gigantic bowl filled with sour cream. And I would get it, and I would make my way out to the dining room and put it down. And by the time I turned around, I said, "Melvin, yeah, it's finished." They loved sour cream. And and I was very lucky that somebody, I was an extra in the Dramatic Society, and somebody stepped in a gopher hole and turned their leg, and so they gave me his part that night on stage. Uncle Harry was the name of a play we were doing, an English play. So I'm a district attorney. First they said he's too young. He looks too young. So they made me up. They gave me lines. They put a towel in my back. I said, "It's not Quasimodo. It's a district attorney." Anyway, so I became a DA, and here's what happened. Oh, Jesus. This is true. This is terrible. I said, they gave me the part because they said, there, Harry, relax. Have some water and tell me in your own words exactly what happened on the night of February the 16th. Okay. He knows the words. I don't care. Make him old. Make him get him. He knows the words. Okay. So they gave me the part. Uncle Harry. In comes Harry, who is the guy that's going to go to the chair, whatever. And I say, there, Harry. In your own words, tell me what happened. Exactly your own words on the night of February the 15th. And I hand him a glass of water. There's water on the outside of the water. The glass there's water in the glass, but there's a lot of water outside the glass. And then I clutched it because I was nervous. And the whole glass hit a silver salver on my desk and shattered. Quiet. The band was quiet. Everybody was quiet. It was just a, that's all you heard. And I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to do. So I walked out to the footlights and I said, I'm 14. I never did this before. Anyway, that's a true story.
Let me see here.
Let's talk about Spaceforce.
I'm just going over my notes here. Let's see. Cat Sounds, Hitler, Sour Cream, DA, Water Glass. We've covered it all.
You made that up.
I couldn't figure out what you were looking for in your pocket, and then of course it turns out it's Hitler's mustache.
Anytime I'm in trouble on stage.
So you didn't know you'd be making these parodies when you did Blazing Saddles. Now, I guess your fourth parody was the High Anxiety, right? You did 4 in a row. Blazing Saddles and Young Frankenstein and the Asylum movie and then High Anxiety. And for High Anxiety, even though you didn't have to, right? You were like, you're spoofing Alfred Hitchcock.
Yeah, no, salute Alfred Hitchcock, of course.
So you called him, you let him know.
I told him, I said, I'm making this salute to you and your movies. I didn't say parody. I said salute to you and your movies. He said, well, come by. So I went to Universal. I went to his little bungalow there, and we talked. And he said, I've got a good idea for you for the movie. So I said, what is it, Mr. Hitchcock? He said, call me. Yeah. You can call me Al or whatever. I think it was, yeah. So I said, yes, Mr. Hitchcock. I never called him anything but Mr. Hitchcock, believe me. So anyway, he said, here's the idea. A guy is running away he's being chased by a bunch of really mean, terrible people who are out to kill him, and he runs and he runs and he runs, and finally he runs at the end of a pier. There's nowhere to go but water. But a ferry is out about 20 feet away from the end of the pier, and he runs with all his might, leaps in the air, lands safely on the deck of the ferry, gets up, breathes a sigh of relief, and then looks and realizes the ferry is coming in. And that was Hitchcock's, that was his idea. And I said, if I only had another $36,000, whatever, I would have made it. But he was a great guy, and he loved my movies. He was really a sweetheart. We went to dinner. He said, I want, butterfly shrimp. I remember butterfly. I said, butterflies in the shrimp? I wasn't sure what it was. I never had it. And then he had I think it was asparagus. Yeah, butterfly shrimp, asparagus, soup, a thick steak, baked potato, filled with sour cream. And I had a grilled cheese sandwich. I figured he was paying. I didn't want to go over. So anyway, we finish, and he passes lips. He takes out a cigar case. He takes out a cigar. He puts it back. He closes it. Puts it back. And he says, George, I guess that was the head waiter. He said, George, I'm still a bit peckish. Would you do it again? And I said, is he crazy? Does he mean do it again? Am I going to see soup and salad? Right there, butterfly shrimp. There was the soup. There was the thing. But he didn't have 2 bowls of ice cream, which he had originally. But he ate it all, and then he took out the cigar. And I said to myself, he's made some of the greatest movies. He may be the greatest director that ever lived, but nobody could eat like that man. That was really amazing. He's an amazing guy.
So it was very kind of you, thoughtful of you to reach out to Hitchcock even though you had to. But before you made Spaceballs, which
He's waiting for poor Ben. He's sitting here. He says, I wonder when this guy's going to finish what he's got.
They don't care. Trust me. They don't care. You had to reach out because you're parodying Star Wars. And many of the characters are very similar.
Yeah.
So you knew that the George Lucas lawyers might even be able to stop this movie. You didn't want that. So
Lucas liked me. He liked my work. He liked my rough draft of the script. And in conferring with his lawyers, he called me and he said, Mel, the only thing you can't do the merchandising. You can't do the dolls. You can't do it. I said, okay. And to this day, I haven't. But in case there's another Spaceballs, who knows? I mean, that's an old contract, You might see somebody that looks like me or Rick Moranis.
Did you? I don't think I've ever asked you this. Did you love Star Wars?
I loved it. I loved the picture. I thought it was unusual. I thought it was incredibly, original, and it was a combination of all the things I loved, like Ivanhoe when I was a kid, and Robin Hood, and it was kind of like a fairy tale, and yet with zaps, a lot of zaps. Instead of arrows, there was zap, and then zap, a lot of that, But it was good. It was a good movie, and its heart was in the right place,
And you thought this was ripe for parody, and you didn't just, as people will see. How many people here have not seen Spaceballs? I'm asking this question. It's amazing how many people haven't seen it. By the way, I want to tell you that.
You know what? I remember when I got a letter from a kid who was about 11, 12, and he said, I just saw Star Wars, Mr. Brooks, and it's not nearly as funny as your movie. Obviously, he hadn't seen Star Wars. He just saw Spaceballs. You know?
Somewhere in this audience tonight, Mel, and I of course, I naturally didn't write their names down after I met the woman. There's a woman named, I think, Meryl, and her husband, who I think his name is Chip. But let's just assume that I'm correct. Meryl and Chip.
Meryl and Chip, yeah.
And 37 years ago, they went on their first date. And he took her to the movies. He took her to see a parody of Star Wars called Spaceballs. She thought, this is a strange first date, and it doesn't particularly impress me.
It is indeed.
And then Chip, if that's his name, started, as soon as the first joke comes up, laughing hysterically, doubling over in laughter, which alarmed Meryl initially. And then she thought, he is so into this, he is so committed to this, that she began to admire it.
Yeah.
Like he is full, if he sees something that he loves, he fully loves it.
That's beautiful. Yeah.
And they have been together 37 years and they're here tonight.
It's so sweet. It's so lovely.
You, we gotta go, but you also make fun, as people will see, of not just Star Wars. There's a wonderful salute to Alien in this. There's also a salute to, in many ways, the TV show Alice.
Oh, yeah. There is. You got it.
You became and are the definitive master of big screen parodies, but all of them, every single one of your parodies, comes from your complete, unabashed, unbridled love of movies.
I love movies. Let me tell you one thing that I did that escapes a lot of people, but if they notice it, they go nuts. Madeline Kahn, God bless her. God bless her. She was so good. She comes to visit me to tell me something. I'm Professor Thorndike, and her father is
Oh, this is in High Anxiety. Yeah.
high anxiety, and she pulls up in a Seville Cadillac, but it's covered with what is it covered with? Yes.
Oh, Louis Vuitton.
It's covered in Louis Vuitton. The whole car. She gets out of the car, she's in a jumpsuit, complete Louis Vuitton. She has a bag, Louis Vuitton. Everything with Louis Vuitton. And and I never pointed to it, never mentioned it. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. But it's insane because of her dedication to Louis Vuitton. It's amazing. I miss her a lot.
Well, I know from all the times that we've spent together how much these movies, the movies that we show on TCN, the movies that these people in this theater love, they formed your outlook on life. They framed your sense of right and wrong. I know how much you love these movies.
Yes.
And I just want to add how much I'm grateful for everything you've done for me. I love you, and I thank you for showing up here tonight.
I love you. My pleasure.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mel Brooks.
Thank you. Thank you for coming. I hate to leave, but I must go. Bless you.